Welcome back, you guys, to episode 6 of Away. As promised, I'm doing a digital tour of MySpace on Procreate. And that's my iPad. You saw my little Animal Crossing character there. But yeah, Procreate, it's what I use mainly. Pretty awesome. And you can also see that I use it a lot for my paintings. I take a lot of photos and import it into Procreate, draw over them, or start the drawing on Procreate, then kind of just resketch it onto canvas. I play with both mediums a lot. You can see all the paintings we've been talking about. Various versions of them all exist here, alongside some other ones. I've been messing around with this one the other day, but there's a whole bunch of them. Even we talked about that gallery I did in Germany. All these pieces are here. A few of these got printed. This was one of them. It was printed as its own poster. And the great thing about Procreate is you can see how long things took you. So this took me 10 hours and 9 minutes. Arguably maybe plus or minus some time because I make duplicates of all my work. Anyway, so the other great thing is you can also see time-lapse replays, and I play with them a lot in this video. So it's kind of just a much cleaner way to show you my art making since it's already done in the program for me. I was gonna say I worship Procreate. I wouldn't go quite that far, but it's pretty damn great. It's by far one of the easiest, or if not the easiest. I don't have a crazy amount of experience with a bunch of software, but user interface wise, it's super easy to get a hang of. Yeah, I'm just gonna be browsing through old collections, by the way, while I talk, and you can see some details. I'll go into time lapses and yada yada. So yeah, but yeah, it's pretty damn easy, I think, with given practice, obviously, like any medium, but you can just kind of get in there. And I haven't tried Procreate Dreams yet. That's the animation app, but I would really love to. So yeah, Procreate has some really, really fun and funky features. Because I've been playing with it a lot lately. Like the friend of mine I went to go visit in Germany, she is a mostly digital artist, I guess it's fair to say. Not mostly, but she's an illustrator. Anyway, so she's really, really good at digital art, and she gave me some tips. And I've been kind of working on and off since then. And the thing I really love about it, as you can kind of see in this replay, is you can play around with the work as much as you want with little to no consequence. Like you saw, I gave the figure earrings, all kinds of crazy shit, and now it just is gone. It doesn't even matter. So I integrate it pretty heavily these days and with my painting practice. There's a lot I really love about this artwork. You can't really see it now. I think you can see me waiting for it in the video, but there's this little glitch that happens, and you can see it on the leg closest to the right side, and these little red streaks, here they are, I'm zooming into them now, kind of show up. And it doesn't happen often. I've never really any other time witnessed a glitch like that in Procreate, but it happened here, so I decided to keep it because it looks so damn cool. So anyway, yeah, she really was super helpful. So I ended up making some digital pieces for the gallery, which is the first time I've done that. I started out with traditional painting, but this is fun, so yeah, what else have we got? Yeah, I guess I'm just letting you look at all of them here. And then I did, random sketches. The other thing is this is also a complete junk drawer compilation. This is anything I've ever made, give or take. Oh yeah, there's this GIF I'm looking for here that's pretty damn cool. Here it is. So yeah, Procreate, even though Procreate Dreams is the official animation app they just used, you can still animate within Procreate. I don't show that off a lot here, just because in the interest of time, I think, but we can do that a separate time, another time. But I really liked that one. That was just a pure experiment, and I guess I really want to show you. These guys, remember these? We saw them in the studio tour, and these are all the digital versions of them. So we've got, I think this is Dressing Room that I painted over it, again, in Procreate. Below it, you can see the OG versions. Again, here, it's really integral in my process work and sketches and stuff, and these are just photos of the actual paintings. Or these beginning sketches in my sketchbook that I then draw over. Helps me work with color and stuff, so I love it, honestly. Clearly. And anyone who's digital art isn't real, listen, it's a tool like everything else is, right? I can understand in some areas it's easier, in a lot of ways it's a lot harder. Oh yeah, I animated this painting. Let's take a look at this. While I continue my, you know what I mean? This in paper, yeah, you could do it. You can make a stop motion 2D painting, but I believe if the old masters has access to this kind of tech, they'd use it too. So I don't really believe in that. There's digital tracing and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe that's why I also like showing off the time lapses, because it's merit that, no, I drew this, and there's a lot of artists that draw like this and a hell of a lot better, which is cool. Anyway, but yeah, it's a learning curve for sure. Oh, this is another one of my favorites. I can't remember if I made this for class or not, but let's see how long it took. I think 3 hours and 30 minutes is what I saw. So not even that long, which surprised me, clearly. And then I'm just kind of skimming through the time lapse here. But yeah, you know, it's different. Like, even like oil painters try to argue that acrylic ones are like manipulating modern technology and that it's like not as hard. I don't personally agree with that either. Call me biased, I like acrylic paints, but you know, it's also, yeah, mad accessible. Like, of course it's convenient that I don't have to pay for paper or supplies, etc., etc. Like, yeah, it's a pretty steep one-time cost, but once I've paid it, like, and Procreate's pretty cheap, eh? Like, I think when I bought it, it was like $10. So that in mind, it is a fantastic engine when you compare it to, like, I've used Illustrator, I've used Photoshop, I haven't done like MS Paint or any of that crap, but I've used like the Sketch app on your phone. Like, I've played with some, and this one is just phenomenal, truly. Oh, I don't think I ever show you guys my layers properly, just because I wanted to mostly show you the gallery. This is another project I worked on. Sticker project. I still have these stickers. I might show you them in person another time, but I didn't like them that much, to be honest. This is the first version of that. Nah, whatever. Got paid for it. Got out. Yeah, but there's like a lot of complex layering. I guess you'll see that in the time lapses. This one especially. How long did this take? Let's take a peek. Yeah, 12 and a half hours. There you go. And it's also because I was still learning a lot of digital stuff. Yeah, you saw me tracing my sketch there. And then, yeah, I just, you know, it helps me because especially in the beginning when I was messing around, this was, I think, 2023, I believe, or just very early 24. I think this was almost exactly a year ago now that I think about it. Anyway, I was just fucking around and seeing, like, I think I'm pausing a lot here because I want to really emphasize, like, I think that at that point it could have been done or, like, almost done. And I just kind of overdid it out clearly, like with the glitz and the glam. And that's a light pen brush on Procreate. Really fucking love that thing. It's so pretty. So I was really in a phase back then. You're going to see that with a lot of these paintings. Super glittery, super shiny. Because I thought it looked so cool. I still kind of do, but I don't use it nearly as much now. Procreate. It's fun. Oh, voice crack. Sorry about that. Anyway. The other thing I like about it is I can make 100 versions and I can keep all of them. Let's see. Okay, well, this is another really nice one. Love this one. Took me a while. Let's see. Statistics. 12 and a half. Yep. This one, I believe it. This was one of the more detailed ones I've done. But it still bothers me that the reflection on the hand is fucked. The thumb, you shouldn't see the thumb that way. But it's pretty. More use of the light pen. That's why I zoomed in. You can see the tears are sparkly. It's giving diva. Anyway. What did I even write there? I don't know. I can't read my own. Yeah, I don't know. I can't read that. I'm trying again and again to read it. Watching love become a ghast illness. Oh yeah, because I was watching House MD at the time. So I was kind of locked in on that. Wilson and Amber, if you know, you know. But I didn't want to do that anymore. I think I saw this inspo photo on Pinterest. I can't find it, so that's that. But it started with this original photo tone, this lady looking at herself in the mirror. Don't think she saw a skull in herself in the mirror. I think I just did that. And then kind of just took it on from there. There's this woman that kind of reoccurs in my art. Red dress, pearls, black updo. I think, yeah, here, yeah, I'm actually moving it up because I think they look better together because this is her. Do I click on it? Yeah, I do. There she is. Okay, perfect. So yeah, as you can see, digital media, I guess, really emphasizes how easy it is to just make a change in your artwork, especially in terms of composition. It's not hard, you know, you don't have to rework everything so hard. So yeah, love it. Love this piece. It was really good. What else we got? Let's see. This one. This was another good example of me really abusing that light brush. Only took 3.5 hours. Decent. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, a lot of these works are part of a project I did last summer, I believe, around, I think, first semester last year, something like that, where I wanted to make 50 artworks in about, I think, 3 months. I can't really remember the timeline on that, but yeah, something like that, or maybe shorter, but yeah. Oh yeah, it was over the summer. Okay, it was summer going into second year. I was like, okay, let's make a bunch of shit. So I made a bunch of shit, and this was one of them. And yeah, you saw it with this one too, or we're seeing it now, that this piece started super duper different than how it ended up, but I kind of just trusted the process and kept, like, a lot of the times I almost feel like my painting is like sculpting, because like it reveals itself the more layers I put into it. which feels really counterintuitive. Like, that's what my prof, we talked about this last week, was getting at. Like, I carve and repaint a lot, which takes a lot of extra time. Even though I paint quickly, it's almost like unnecessary time, but it's so fun because then all this like was not planned. That light ray, like, it just happened with the painting, and it was pretty, and I'm glad I kept it. This piece was good fun. I think I have prints of stuff. This also, yeah, and then I did another little change in there, and that's it. That's her. Yeah, I like it. What else are we gonna look at? This, are we gonna look at that guy? Yeah, this guy is a guy I also quite like. He's from an anime I used to really like, Durara. And yeah, same thing. I had some different colored versions. A lot of the time in my art, I really prefer the early versions to the late, but you can just tell when something's not finished. But I love with digital stuff, you can just keep it. You can keep all of it, as long as you got the storage space, which I don't, but whatever. So now we're getting older and older. These are some old gems of mine. I think we'll get back to them in a bit. I'm just gonna keep scrolling to show you that. I mean, where I'm at with digital art, not that I'm like fucking Liberace or anything. I don't even know if he was an artist or like an opera. I don't know, but I'm no master yet, but it took practice. Like, this is from 2021, when I first started, and you can see that I have no understanding of layering, opacity, etc., etc. It was just like thick layers of paint. This is one of the pieces that got me into my university. It was part of my portfolio at the time. And you can see that, yeah, in terms of blending, there is none. It's just color blocking, really. And I think we're gonna look at the time lapse. This was fun. So this is another one. It started with the sketch. I find like my sense of space is easier to get on paper than digitally, so I do that a lot. And you can see I was playing with line work here. Like, what I used to do was like, I would take the sketch, make the line work, paint in the line work, then remove the line work, and then repaint again. Which actually I think is pretty common for people that don't use line work. I don't know, I just didn't like the way it looked. It looked like kind of like not tacky, but too cartoony when my figures are already kind of like that. So yeah, I love this piece though, especially considering it's one of the first digital ones I really made alongside like those studies. I think we might look at some of the other studies in a sec. Like, I really love it. It was decently fun to make, honestly. What else we got? Yeah, the fruit study, the classic, you know. I hear a lot of young artists, and I would say myself included, but not really. I was gonna say that a lot of young artists don't like doing still lifes or practices or studies. I always kind of liked them, just because I did. A lot of people do. They are fun, but I would just say embrace them. Like, I'm doing them right now. I think next episode you're gonna see me doing exclusively that, because it helps you progress and grow. And speaking of progressing and growing, these ones, this was kind of practice, but this was actually for a portfolio I put together my first year. I was in OCAD, but suddenly I don't even know if I really wanted to do it or if I was just panicking or what, but I decided that, psych, I don't want to do visual arts. Or, well, I do, but I want to do animation instead. I think I was just concerned about being like jobless and homeless and not having money. So I thought animation would be a safer route. This was pre-ChatGPT era, or at least ChatGPT wasn't in the hive mind yet. But I'm saying that because now, actually, ironically, things are even harder for animators than ever. I don't think they're going to be replaced. Not that that's the subject of conversation right now, but could be, you know. I don't think the human touch is actually going out of style. I just think we have a new tool and we have to just be smart. You know, like, I've had my chats with ChatGPT, and I'm serious by that. I mean that literally. Like, I've talked to it about my art. Maybe I'll make a video about that. It was really interesting. I inputted some video footage. Some pictures of my art, and like, anyway. But back to Sheridan. Yeah, so it was a more like girthier portfolio than what OCAD had us prepare, including these like perspective drawings. I suck at perspective. So this was kind of like my first one I'd made in forever, and this is what I ended up submitting for the portfolio. Spoiler alert, didn't get in, but you know, it was a good practice. I was gonna color this even, like, bruh, what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. But neither did I think. I don't think I knew what I was doing back then either. But I think I was just going with it. I was just practicing, you know, big deal. You have to. I do really like this drawing though, despite all the, if it might sound negative, I'm just, you know, but it was fun. And there's so many like little details in here that I really love doing. I think this might have taken me around the 10-hour mark. I don't know if I looked at that yet, but yeah, like, look at that curtain fold. That curtain fold looks pretty damn good. That triangle. And then, you know, these characters, they're in my other one as well. So I don't really remember. There was 2 3-point perspectives and then I think 2 1-point perspectives. So I think this one and the other one are supposed to be 1-point perspective. Even this, I don't think is proper 1-point perspective, to be honest. I don't even really know what 1-point perspective is, if I'm being 100% honest. I understand 3-point. 1-point confuses the hell out of me. And still generally perspective at large does. But at least I know vaguely. At the beginning, you saw me do all those blue lines because I used to do a little bit of art training before OCAD, and he was an animator. So I learned their way of doing things a little bit, but not a lot. And then you can see I obviously got carried away. I was playing with the shadows, decorated the couch. Don't think that was what they were looking for. But it was fun. Like, I actually really like this piece, I guess you can call it. I never really put it up anywhere. Maybe I should. Oh yeah, and then like even like I make a little painting in the back, like a drawing in a drawing, like love. Even the bookcase, they all have names. I think I'm gonna zoom in on that in a sec. But like, oh yeah, all the details and embellishments. Like I think this just feels like such a cozy little vibe. It's cute, so cute. And evidently it took me forever. Damn, we're still going. We're near the end though. See that little progress bar? Like stay with me. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't get into Sheridan, and in retrospect, I think that was probably godlike, because the year after being second year, because I made this my first year, things started to pick up, but really this third year is when things have really started to bloom. So hey, I'm really glad I stuck around, willfully or not, I think. Damn, it was worth it. Just like probably making this portfolio and these exercises were worth it. Did I ever do much with them again? No, but I'm gonna do more like these though. I found them really fun. Here we go, we're looking at the bookcase. Yeah, just like Too Much is a song. Janet Jackson. Wait, what the fuck am I thinking about? Miss You Much, like Too Much. Never Too Much, that song, love that song. Rock Bottom, De La Soul is an artist, love. Yeah, perfume I love this, like a whiskey and a little perfume bottle under the lamp, like, oh, could you even? I could just die. So, yeah. And then the companion piece, I'm not even gonna do a time lapse of this, just because I think this took me like, what, an hour? Okay, 3 hours, whatever. Whatever, you know? This one took me, yeah, let's see how long. Yeah, 8 hours. Okay, still actually a little, nah, that sounds about right. Anyway, so these are the 3 points. This was the first one I made, and I think you can tell. It's a little, I don't even know if this is correct 3-point. Like, yeah, you can see me screwing with it and trying to see if it is or not. I have, like, literally no idea. And then do I, like, ruin the perspective there? I don't know, but I finished it. And then I did these little, like, line work embellishments in the corners and stuff that I thought were fun. And this, like, fog thing in the back I thought was fun. Drawing is fun, bro. Like, even the practice is fun. Actually, my main problem is I tend to get away mid-practice. I'm practicing and I'm like, what if I just made this into a piece? I can always practice later. Like, I just get distracted in the fun. This was the other one. I prefer this one just because it's a little more detailed, I think, and tells even more of a story. But at the same time, I like the stylized element of that one. I think this took me, what, 5 hours and 40 minutes, that said? I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so perspective was hard here. I've seen this time lapse before. I watch my time lapses pretty often, personally, just because, especially with older stuff, it's good to see like how you broke down things then versus now. And it's all there, like it's all archived in every piece I have. And surprisingly, Procreate doesn't even take up that much space on my iPad. That's pretty damn goated. Anyway, like, see, this is good process. Like I was talking about how I don't really sketch that much anymore, really. And I need to start sketching again, like a lot. I need to start sketching every day again. See this perspective with the head? That's the other thing. I completely ruined this perspective there. I should have stuck with the original one, and I didn't. That's why I'm rewinding this, because that looks so much better. So, you know, it's good to go back and see how you used to do things. At least me, personally. Because things are changing so fast that, like, you just tend to forget. I drop a lot of information that, you know, anyway. And I'm zooming in these pill bottles, and I'm thinking it just says stuff like, take me. Whoa, not like that, but you know, stuff like that. There are pills like everywhere. I thought that was fun. And the cabinets are like raining down into like the bowl. Whoa, voice crack. Let me get some water. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay, moving on. Here's this one. Fun, you know? Yeah, I'm not especially attached to that one per se, but I just wanted to show you how many different like versions it had and it went through. That's why I'm not so attached to it, is I kind of can't decide what the final is. That's kind of, I guess, the con of being able to make it so many times. This is where the reference started, and this one though, like, the reference is so barren, and it's like an inky sketch, but it manages to look done. So I think that was something I just wasn't grasping in this period. I'm getting a little better at it now, but the line between like overworking and stuff, especially because I would get then so obsessed with looking at how much time I spent on things. It's fun to look at now, but yeah, like I would just constantly check after every session, every whatever, and if it was like under 10 hours, I was like, puh, not impressed. And there's merit in working, you know, obviously for long hours, and working hard and all that stuff is good and is important. It's a fine balance, I think. That one was one I really liked. That one also took me a while. I don't know if I think we're gonna deep dive into it in a bit. That one has like kind of a trio next to it. But I'm just gonna reorganize them because I can. And yeah, so there are pros and cons to digital. Obviously, I would say, I don't know, I wanted to say if you hadn't tried it, maybe you should, but that's up to you, obviously. This is the version I think maybe I'd consider finished of this guy. I liked, like, digitally, one of my apprehensions about it in the beginning was, like, obviously lack of texture. It looked really flat. And mine in the beginning did look really flat, you know? I didn't know any better, and that's part of learning and stuff. As we're gonna see, like, the further we dip in the archives, you can see even, like, different styles. Like, this was something I was trying. I was using, like, the rough pastel brush a lot. Stopped using that, but I used, I think, that mostly in the early stuff. Like, this piece also taught me a lot. I was pretty surprised this one only took me an hour and a half. And there's some different versions of this too. Oh yeah, because again, with the versions, sometimes the time like also gets messed up because I don't know which one I picked up on and blah blah blah. So, but yeah, looking back on it, this is one of the previous versions I've pulled out of a file. I kind of like this one. I wonder if I'd been doing it today, I would just leave it there. But yeah, beginnings are beginnings. Oh, I have to cough. Can I hold it? Yeah. Anyways. Old stuff. You can see like a lot of this stuff looks almost unrecognizable, minus the fact that a lot of the faces are still like distorted. Oh, damn. Excuse me. Let me edit that out. Anyway, so yeah. Progress is progress. Progress is good. This is an old piece that I used to like. Oh yeah, and looking on it, I had an epiphany that the version I had been sending out to print and been using on my website, etc., was not even the final version. It even said it in the title thing, like, final version, print this. I didn't print that. I printed something else. So the whole time, every time I looked at that piece, I was like, this piece is shit. Yeah, because I wasn't even looking at the final. Bruh. Oh well. This shit happens. Oh yeah, we're back to this one. Okay, I'm glad, because I did want to talk about this one. This is 8.5 hours, so yeah. Again, though, things also take you longer when you're first trying it out, right? I did not know my ups from downs and Procreate in this era. I still am, no master, okay? I'm no fucking Da Vinci of Procreate. Some bitches literally eat, sleep, breathe, Procreate. I am not that bitch. I'm a different kind of bitch. What kind? I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, so these two are like actually technically just versions of the first one that I just decided to play with. I do that a lot. See like what different directions you can take the piece in because there's no stakes. So like I said, that can be a pro because you get to experiment, but it's also a con because I like having finished work. Like, if I'm not completing it, I just get discouraged because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not going to put it in my portfolio or like a website, like what's the point? Maybe that's not a good thought to have, but like, you know, I just like the disillusion of productivity, I guess. But all things said and done, Procreate's great. I've made a lot of great pieces through Procreate, and this is one of them. This is the last one we're going to go through today. And yeah, like you can see me using different brushes and stuff here, and I just wanted to say, reminder, practice, bitch, because it's also my reminder, okay? I'm not trying to preach, or not practice what I preach anyway. The next episode's gonna be all about practice, because practice makes progress. So, you know, I've come a long way. There's still a long way to go, and that's great. I love my pieces very much. I'm starting to love them more, but onwards and upwards, you know? So, yeah, thank you guys sorry much for participating in this tour. Oops, don't delete that with me. We'll do another one maybe soon. Until then, bye.